My name is Woody Woodburn. I'm a carpenter, prop maker. There is a difference between the two. I started out as a carpenter back in the days when we used to frame houses. We did everything from the subfloor to cutting our own rafters. And a friend of mine dared me to learn about special effects. I was in the process of cutting up a car, a '57 Chevy, to make a sand car out of it, which I wished I had now. But we used to cut the cars up and make all different sorts of, and he said that with your welding ability and your knowledge of electricity and your understanding of hydraulics, you would do well in special effects. So I said, yeah, okay, what's special effects? He said, well, and explained it. I thought, well, that'd be interesting. I'd like to try that. Well, before you can do that, you have to be a prop maker. Okay, what's a prop maker? And he explained that you build things for the sets for the movie industry, which sounded pretty interesting. So I went through the process and got my journeyman's card in the studios. Had the opportunity to work at Paramount for many years, Goldwind Studios, and some of the independents. Did a lot of location work with some of the better names in Hollywood. And it was a great opportunity to learn. That's kind of my history in the industry. Is after retiring some years ago, I took care of my wife for a while, and then after she passed, I got to go to work with Jim and Elias. They found me sitting in a corner one time and asked me to show them how to build some flats. So I thought, well, that'd be a nice little 3 or 4 day deal, and I came down and tried to show some of their guys how to build some flats. That was, I think, almost 7 years ago. We're still doing it. So it's been a very gratifying adventure. It's been a lot of fun. I had a chance to meet a lot of really nice people, and I really enjoy being where I'm at. Learning is an unending and never-ending part of what goes on here. That's part of what drives me, is my curiosity to learn how people do different things, different ideas that people have, and their thought process on how they got where they went on their project. Probably one of the most important things that a person would need is a desire to learn new things, to learn from other people. And even as a teacher or an instructor, I find that every day I learn something. I learn something from the people that I work with and the people that work for me. Learning is an unending and never-ending part of what goes on here. That's part of what drives me, is my curiosity to learn how people do different things, different ideas that people have, and their thought process on how they got where they went on their project. So a desire to learn what's going on and new things is very important. The next tip would be to find a mentor. Find somebody that you respect their work, and you respect them, and you respect their workmanship, the way they go about what they do, because it's all part of the end product. Your desire to do as good a job as you possibly can, given the equipment and the material that you have to work with, is got to be foremost. It's got to be what drives you to the end product. What I did when I started in the studios was I went and I found the oldest guys on the crews that looked like they knew what they were getting something accomplished. And I'd go make a deal with them. I'd tell them, I'll haul the lumber, I'll pull all of the dirty, I'll do all the dirty work, but you got to teach me something. And then I would hold them to it. And after about 3 days of messing around with you, and they decided you were for real, then the old timers would take you off to the side and they would start to teach you things. You'll find that a true craftsman has an inborn desire to teach. They want to pass on the things that they've learned. The key is to show them that you want to learn and that you will do with and absorb what they teach. The thing is you take that and you build on that yourself. You do other things with the basic things that you're taught. You apply those to the things that you want to do. That's how the industry grows, that's how the thought process grows, and that's how you grow. I'm a great one for not wanting to follow the rules. I like to think of it as thinking outside of the box, coming up with ideas or taking other people's ideas and turning them into what you want, make them go the direction that you want. I had a person ask me one time to define special effects when I was in the studios. And my definition of special effects is the misapplication of other people's products to obtain the results that I want. And that's part of the process, I think, of thinking outside of the box, of looking at things from as different a perspective as you can, a different perspective than other people see it. Sometimes it's hard to visualize, but you'll find that with a little practice it comes quite easily. When you're doing set work on stage, especially on stage, and in the shop, teamwork is a very important part of what goes on. If you take two minds and put them together on a project, you actually create a third entity that helps to answer questions. You'll be surprised how that one works. The thing with the teamwork is that you can look out for one another. You want to keep safety in mind. You want to make sure you keep your eyes protected, watch where you are with your hands. You want to be there to come back the next day. It's not something to take lightly, but the teamwork aspect of it is as important a factor as there is in the construction industry. The biggest thing in any type of construction, especially carpentry, it's all common sense. I've heard it said, there are no new ideas, there's just different versions of old ideas. Everybody that sees a problem sees a different solution to it. Use common sense when you make a decision, when you build things. One of the words that I like to apply is it adequate? Build what you need to adequately do the job or perform whatever task it is you're going to do. Again, common sense. I cannot express enough how important common sense is in the whole thing. It needs to drive almost every decision. One of the piece of advice that I would give to a young person getting into the industry would be to learn all you can about computers and the way they work and some of the different programs. I realize there's a tremendous number of programs, but learn how to draw with a computer, learn how to express yourself on a computer. You want to make your computer run faster? Learn to type. Even some of the things that I learned 40 or 50 years ago when I first started, some of those principles are still basics in set construction and in the things that we need. The computers can only do so much. So learn as much as you can about the computer aspect of it, but also learn the basics. Learn what it takes to make a board stand up plumb, and learn the little things, you know. I just can't express how important some of that stuff is. I have here a small list of tools to carry. These are tools that you will carry when you're assembling a set on stage. By no means does this include all the tools that it takes to build that set or to create that set. You'll need a tool belt, a claw hammer. I prefer a 16-ounce curved claw hammer. Vaughan makes a very good one. A 12-foot tape measure. You do not need a 25-foot tape measure. I carry two number 2 pencils. If you break one, you've always got one to go with. A pair of side cutters, a craft knife, a 9-inch level, screwdrivers, a medium flat screwdriver, and a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. When you buy tools, when you start going for tools, save your money and buy good tools. Spend money and buy quality tools. Properly taken care of, properly maintained, you'll have those tools the rest of your life, and you'll give them to your kids. I have tools that I've worked with for over 50 years, and they still serve me well. But a tool is your avenue for self-expression. It's how you get your idea into the wood and get it presented to wherever it needs to go. One of my things and the advice I would give to a youngster would be to find a mentor, find an old guy that looks like he knows what he's doing, and follow him around and try to learn from him. That was kind of the way I got started, was just picking out the guys with the most experience and hanging out as close as I could to them and learn as much as I could from them. It worked out well for me. Like I said, I got to do quite a bit of location work. I had the opportunity to work on some pretty good-sized movies. I'd like to say that I feel very privileged to have been part of the adventure of the Film Hub. Lauren's great adventure, her idea. I remember the day she came into the office and says, "I have an idea." And if we'd have only known what it was going to turn into. This hub has been an absolute adventure, not only from the construction part of it, which was a lot of fun and very rewarding, but emotional and the personal impact that the whole thing has had on not only myself, but some of the other people involved here. I think this is providing a tremendous opportunity for a lot of people to go a lot of places and accomplish a lot of things.